kitchen. Come in here.
Hey, Dave. Dave.
It's just that the florist.
Dave. Why don't you wait so Mel can be talking about these things? What is it called? Barrel?
Well, it's a barrel vault. It actually puts a curve on it. And, you know, it gives it some uniqueness in here rather than just a flat ceiling.
And somebody came in and painted this.
Yeah, he put 14 coats of blue up there to get that sky blue the way we wanted it. And then I had him change it 2 or 3 times. He had the sunset over here too gaudy, and he had too much pink in the clouds. He changed it, and then he put a little bit of acrylic over there in those clouds, so it gave it a little bit of a different color.
That's beautiful. What kind of wood are you using?
This is oak.
This
is
is
all
oak.
hand-done oak, yeah.
Hand-done oak?
They had special routers that did all this. And then when you do a wainscoting, a pattern like this, you literally, it's like a puzzle on a table. We're out in this big board that we put all the pieces together, and I actually made the design that I wanted on the wainscoting.
Yeah.
I wanted, because it was a large feeding home, the tall ceilings, I could get away with a pretty heavy molding. Most homes can't use this broad molding.
It's gorgeous. Well, I told you, I definitely do the videotape it so she can see some of the stuff.
I don't know if I told you, I had an interior designer that helped me with
That
the house.
helped you.
Yeah. In other words, something's
Dave,
wrong.
come on up here.
Oh, okay. Then I want to come up.
Grab some of this stuff too. He's done it.
Well,
How high are the ceilings here?
30 feet.
30 feet.
For instance, I had used low voltage for all my paintings, and you have to actually figure where your painting is going to go, so your low voltage is going to go from the transformer up in the crawl space, and there's a little wire that comes out and keeps for it. But I found these light pictures, and my guiding consultant and I are.
Nicola or Jan, you should come here and listen to the stuff that he's done with this. It's really interesting to hear. Oh.
Isn't that, have you seen that video?
That is a painting of
Borsky, no, sorry, Russia. He wasn't saying that he captured it.
That's the servant guy.
Is it in there?
Yeah, you can see his eyes.
Do you sanity in his eyes? Oh,
He
God.
looks pretty weird. That's me.
Oh, that's that priest.
No, this is the Tsar of Russia.
The Tsar of Russia.
Boris Godunov.
Isn't there a priest that
Boris.
over in the overthrow?
Rasputin. And then I had a craftsman throw the tile in the fireplace. He came and he's one of the lead tile men, or actually pottery men in the West Coast. He ran through and designed all this.
It is gorgeous.
And you don't, it isn't just where you give them the project and they say, and let them go with it. In other words, it's a constant amount of approval and drawings, changing it, telling them what you want, you know. I mean, I was involved in the process all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Details.
Yeah, I didn't want to put the square footage into a dining room because you don't use formal dining rooms that much. 5 times a year maybe.
That's right.
And after I got divorced, I realized that when I started cooking, more than 6 people for a sit-down was more than I wanted to do. So it's a buffet if you get 20 people, or 8 people, or 10 people.
Okay, that's a marble.
Granite.
Granite.
I like the layout.
Oh.
And also I wanted all my guests to have the view. So It was really, I
Yeah,
tried to
it's
design the home to take as much of the view as possible. It's hard to tell today, but the coast range is here, all the mountain ranges. And
You can see the whole thing.
I noticed most of your windows are facing
See, you've carried this through.
Well, that was my interior designer. I'll put the light on here. I want to take your way there, Dave.
That's okay.
But
Just
he found,
look as you want.
consultant found the ceiling. I wanted something that was
Oh,
Different.
Chica.
different from just the panels. So this is kind of like those old architectural glass squares from the 50s.
Can we use them in the banks?
Yeah, yeah. But this is actually vinyl. It's not glass, but it gives the appearance of being that way. Now that's only half of them.
What?
We can go up and the rest of them, they're
Oh,
got
my.
every other one.
Show the stove, show the stove.
Well, this is Thermador's latest. One of the things I object to is the noise of fans in your house. So the motor is outside of the wall of the house and all the noise is outside. This is on full blast now and this is all you hear.
Oh,
And I didn't want a hood coming down here because I'm claustrophobic and I want space.
Yeah.
So Thermador answered the question for me.
Chica.
And don't we all hate the sound of fan motors in
I know it. Now, this is all cabinets.
Yeah. If a midget buys a house after me, they're in trouble.
Did you hear him? If a midget buys a house after him, he says they're in trouble.
Well, how, they were going to put most kitchens have soffits that start right about here.
Yes.
And so that's stupid because there's things you use once a year, you can put a little step stool and get up there and get it.
Sure.
And we always run it for 10 years. It's the Cadillac I never knew about it until I started going to the house. They're oxtail.
Ooh, my favorite food.
Yes, and this.
Oh, how did you get here?
And this is my favorite room in the house.
This one?
I'm going to build again in 5 or 10 years and sell this house, and then I'm going to take the capital gains and go even better. But I wanted it bigger. I would have made it bigger. This is all tropics. You can see one of my orchids.
Look at the ceiling. Look up there.
These orchids are just coming into bloom now.
Is there a light in there?
Yeah, there's an overhead and there's
Catch
plant
that up
lights.
there again.
I don't know if that'll help you.
Well, there's enough light to get.
It's that. The top
That's
stuff.
Quila wood from Brazil. And originally we were just going to go with a rather inexpensive wood ceiling. And as happens, you get more and more
Yes.
into it.
What kind is it?
Quila from
Quila.
Brazil. But you can see the craftsmanship of getting that radius like that.
It's gorgeous.
This is bougainvillea. Now in the spring, this is you won't even see leaves. It'll be so full of blooms. And they last for about 2 months. They're gorgeous. Hibiscus from Hawaii.
Where do you get your land?
I did.
Dump truck loads of potting soil goes went into the house because those planters are put 3 feet down, solid concrete, no drainage system, and no watering system. So it's all regulated by computer. I don't have to ever go around with a pot and water.
It's unbelievable when it starts growing up.
Well, in a year now, you can't believe how much it's grown.
How many feet did you go down?
3 feet down.
3 feet down. It
So-
has its own drainage system.
Yeah, which I will never need because there's not that much water going into it. But in case you ever have a breakage or something, that's advisable to put something like that.
She's spoiled.
There's this palm tree's coming in here next week, and then there's a big weed finish line going in there. And it took me a year to decide whether I was going to put the tree in here, but it's gorgeous. It's a triangle
It'll
palm.
get real
and
big.
It's going to be beautiful in here.
Right here. Oh. The ceilings are so high.
Yeah, we're still working on cracks that they have to come back in next spring. We've already done them once, but they're starting to crack.
Dave's got to wait till he starts talking about this stuff. Okay, tell us about here so Lynn can find out.
Well, this is probably the hardest room in the whole house, this and the bathtub, because to design an indoor pool in a house, number one, it doesn't have chlorine. It has hydrogen peroxide and ultraviolet that takes care of the antiseptic of it.
So no chlorine?
No chlorine gas. I didn't want that chlorine gas smell all through my house. You know, we all know what the YMCA and any of your places where you go to swim. And chlorine, as I've gotten older, I think you've probably all noticed that your skin gets more flaky, your hair dries out.
Yeah. Do you have all that information, what he's got in there, Dave?
And then this room has its own dehumidifying system. It doesn't even connect with the rest of the house heating system. The humidity is taken out of the air that heats the airspace and also heats the water. You can hear it going right now if I turn it off. And then if I leave it off for very long, the windows will start fogging up. And it's a perfect system for a cool room.
That's what I was wondering about how you got around that.
Well, and also this is all concrete in here. This is all stucco, which is 3 layers of concrete. So that pretty well assures you you're not going to have dry rot set in and so forth.
What do you keep the temperature of the pool?
I usually keep it at 84, but frankly, right now I'm still landscaping, putting a lot of money into landscaping, so I keep it at 78 to 80,
Yeah.
which is a little cooler than I like to swim. So I go in and do a quick swim and get out.
How deep is it? Oh my God, look at that.
Now, what it does is that's closed all the time that I'm not using the pool, so that keeps that 20,000 gallons of water at 80 degrees without, keep your energy costs going down by 75%.
Wow. Isn't that?
And believe me, Martin,
Who banned you with the great things?
here, porcelain. Everybody knows porcelain. Porcelain.
Oh.
And that's Igor.
He's
Now,
not working right now. I don't have a problem.
Mel, your lights,
Yeah.
you especially pick these out.
Yeah, this is not, these are copies of MTs. And to find antique sconces, the kid living room has antiques in it. And I scoured all Chicago, a couple other cities when I was out on business trips. And I ended up just coming back, and they look old because of the nickel finish that I had put on them. But they gave that Art Nouveau, Art Deco look that I wanted here. I found that's Cooler's new design, and I really
Is it?
liked it. It
I
was
love
exotic
it.
and it was
Yes.
feminine, and I wanted the room to be somewhat soft and feminine for, for ladies who go in there.
And see, these 2 bedrooms got.
Look at that. There's a sink.
And I wanted
on it.
marble somewhere in the house. As you can see, my opinion is marble is cold. Granite is somewhat warm compared to marble.
Yes.
And if you had this whole room, that whole atrium out there was marble, it would be very cold. In other words, I even picked the 3rd grade of Spanish tile. These are from Mexico. And they have little imperfections in them, and I wanted them to have that
Yeah.
so that they wouldn't look 1980s.
Yes.
I wanted that old look.
I just love this. Oh, I love the wood.
That was probably one of the easiest things to pick up.
Oh,
When I saw it, I knew that's
just
what I wanted.
love it.
Even the way they bended it here.
Look at down here, Jake, the barn.
If I did it again, I would make it a courtyard. I would have a person walk to courtyards to get to the bedrooms.
To get to the bedroom, yeah.
But we made these openings and then we put all windows in the side to give it somewhat of a more
Different
interesting.
hall, yeah. But it's beautiful because you can look down at the pool.
And again, you get to look at the view all the way
Yes,
through.
all the way.
Yeah, and when I went back to the architect, he decided to put the pool under the hallway. He loved it because to bring the bedroom out over the pool.
Oh, I love that
Because originally
too.
it wasn't planned to be that way.
I love that, the bedroom over the pool with a little balcony. Now, the iron that you have, that's not regular wrought
No,
iron.
I hate wrought iron. This
Yeah.
is a craftsman that did this in the local area, and we designed that together. It took about 3 months of design and review to find the Art Deco pattern that I wanted. I don't like wrought iron at all.
No.
Oh, well. Again, everybody's got it, so. Right there.
Okay. Let's pick them up.
Wait till you see the royal bathtub.
I
The royal
know.
bath.
Let's turn on lights so we can videotape this baby. Oh.
Look at the headboard of the bed.
Here, I'll just turn that up a little bit. This is on dimmer, so at night it puts a spray of color on that whole cherry wood. The whole bed is built in. It'll stay with the house.
That's cherry wood.
The bedspread was $300 a yard.
Lynn will love that. Did you get that on video?
It was the only, I wanted a
Dave,
pattern
did you
that
get that?
wasn't feminine and that wasn't masculine, so It just came out to be something that looked in good taste, and I liked the pattern.
Tika, did you hear that? $300 a yard for that material.
By the time we got it made, it was $2,500 bucks. If I knew that to start over again, I'd never done it, you know, because whoever thought you'd spend that much for a friggin' fence print.
Oh.
The headboard is
Yes,
so
and that's
beautiful. I remember all the work going into that.
Well, again, I had that inset put in the wall, but I never planned it was gonna be this exotic, and just one thing led to another.
Now
Like,
this opens
we-
up to the...
Yeah, we picked the Art Deco pattern there into the bed, so we could get
Yes.
the light behind there. I'll open this up and you can get a feel of the house from that.
Isn't this unreal?
Rick, how'd you get in there?
Where's the cat?
She's in the room.
Oh, my God.
When I entertain, I usually do.
Now look, you can see from here all the way into the kitchen.
Look at this, Tika.
Dave, you should take a shot of that from right here.
Yeah, you should take it. You
will.
can see all the way into the kitchen.
The other thing I liked in the swimming pool over there, the 10-foot doors. I always wanted a house with 10-foot doors.
And you got your 10-foot doors.
It was just idiocy.
You rang.
I love my 10-foot doors.
How many square feet?
About 4,400.
4,400 in it.
It's not a big home.
It looks big.
Well, it's tall.
High ceiling.
High
Yeah.
ceilings, gigantic.
And then I made the spare bedrooms tiny. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know? Really?
You don't want them to stay too long.
Actually, they're twice as big as I wanted. I wanted enough just for bunk beds and let them go in there like a railroad car or something.
And here is your bed, little tiny hut.
He likes it too, see? He does like it too.
What you need?
See, David Nicholas.
David, the grandpa.
And Uncle Nicholas. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, and it'd be after Jim.
The other thing Jim, we were talking about is I always wanted to
With the royal bath side for the royal family.
And so this has got kind of an
Because
alcove
it's
in it.
jacuzzi.
Come over here, you'll see.
Come over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm really looking for.
Now, this has got a wet mud set is what they put this tile in. It's solid concrete that goes down 10 feet, so there'll never be any cracking. So you sit in the wet mud, and they
Yes.
put plastic in the wet, over the wet mud, and then they curve this to my back structure. So this is upper,
Just for
lower
you.
back, 2 hips. Yeah, this side is for me, and it's a tour. I had 4 people in there. In fact, over 4 of us in there a few weeks ago. And you got, we got out, jumped out of the pool and came in here.
Yeah.
And it gets as full, that's the overflow spot right at the top there, so it really gets deep. And then I have my cable system going all through the house, so I can get the 180 satellite stations up here, so I can sit down and watch a movie. Ceiling with a shower that I saw in Architecture
Oh,
Digest.
look at that.
So I said, why not? I mean, gosh, I had the room for it, it just made it different. But see how the interior designer picked not gaudy colors, like she says, we don't have to use a lot of colors, we'll just use different patterns to pick up the electricity that we want.
Yes.
And that keeps it subtle and tasteful.
Tasteful. I love it.
She did a real fine job.
You just see the tanks that hold the water, just to fill this. They're separate from the rest of the house. Did you see the cathedral ceiling at the top here, David?
Yeah, see, that also picks up
I thought they
The
just,
skylight.
the skylight.
I thought they filled buckets in that special sink and filled this.
And what's interesting about it is they only put me with a 125-gallon tank. We got all done, and the engineers started working more pressure.
Wow.
So it'll fill in about, 10 minutes. I just fill and go watch TV or something.
For that many gallons.
If you ever get tired, you just put like fish in it.
I frankly, I don't know why more men don't use bathtubs, because it's the most pleasant time of the day to sit in and just let your body just, I got some bath oil in here and I stick it in. And not having cold water. And this tile, I haven't waxed this tile for 6 months. And it's at swimming parties beyond galore. And look at that tile.
Yeah.
I mean, that Mexican tile is going, wait, excuse me, Dave.
That is a Mexican tile.
Yeah. In fact, we had to wait.
See, it gets right out of bed.
They were firing it down in Mexico.
You waited for it to get fired down. This is all Mexican tile.
But you can see the imperfections in it. See all the little blemishes.
That's in the
and
end.
the different color shades, and it took the stain different. And I wanted it to look.
So
You
you're
didn't
gonna-
say that yet.
That's where the fire.
So,